It is the Bright Shade Rifts beta update we've all been waiting for, everyone, except it isn't. Not fully, I imagine. Now don't get me wrong, as there are a lot of interesting tweaks here, but if you were expecting big time buffs, you might want to cool your jets for the time being. Still, I think we're on the right track here, as unique mechanics can go a long way compared to just damage boosts. Take the Bright Shade Staff's ability to now jump between targets with its whopping 10 damage a blast here. But suddenly, every shot is now dealing a potential 70 damage to a horde, as each shot ricochets to up to 7 mobs before fading away. Now that's pretty neat, and folk are already combining the Gestalt of the Celestial Crown with it, plus theorizing just how good the stat's gonna be against the Fuel Weaver and such. And yes, the thing still does more damage to Shadow Align nonsense, plus gets a boost from the Bright Shade armor like before, so enjoy it. Bright Shade bombs have also been changed quite a bit, as they now no longer absolutely decimate other players, including the actual throwers of them, as you can see. Other than that though, they appear to be the exact same, which means they're still really freaking good. To continue though, the Bright Smithy now shatters into loot instead of the Bright Smithy kit that we actually craft in order to place it, which is somewhat strange to me. However, the most notable thing in this segment has got to be the switch up of the Bright Shade Pickaxe into the Bright Shade Smasher here. Yes indeed, we now have a hammer multi-tool with the most efficiency of any other hammer in the game, while still being a pickaxe, just not a pickaxe, mind. And with that in mind, I gotta be honest and say that I don't know if it's still gonna work in unlocking this guy, but what is really great is that Clay is adding more and more mobs and bosses to their proper alignments. Both the Nightmare Werepig and the Phase 2 Ancient Guardian are now under the Shadow category, meaning that both Bright Shade gear of all sorts and Wilson's with the Lunar Innovator skill will be dealing more damage overall to both from here on out. So take advantage. But while we're close to the topic, I suppose, let's briefly mention that the Dreadstone armor of the Nightmare Werepig now has planar defense for some reason. And I only question it because I really thought such mechanics were just going to be tied to the lunar side. But no, each Dreadstone piece now offers flat damage reduction, just like the Bright Shade stuff. It's not much, definitely compared to the Bright Shade stuff, but it is noticeable if you know how all this planar nonsense actually works at the end of the day. In short, each piece is just going to reduce the amount of armor-piercing damage we take by a flat number. But finally, all the tweaks to the rifts themselves and the deadly Bright Shades that they occasionally on us. It appears to me that they still have a portal event relatively often, maybe every 2 days or so, just mind that I did tweak some settings. However, they seem to also spew out only a maximum of 3 Bright Shade Gestalts, usually less. That also means less of these things around, which I believe was the whole bloody problem folk had in the first place. However, Clay also made fighting these deadly Bright Shade plants easier to do than ever, so perhaps we actually need to rethink it all again. Tunneling vines can now be safely damaged at their new tails, making for swifter stun phases, as you can see. But the biggest change is by far the deadly Bright Shades loot table. After today, the plants will give us 2 leafy meat and 2 Bright Shade husks each, which goes hand in hand with the increased stack size of the latter as well. So make notes. As there you have it, everyone, an overview of the biggest update to the update that we have seen thus far, but again, I think we might need to go a bit further still. More cool synergies for the new gear would be very welcomed. Plenty of other mobs still need to be aligned, of course, and perhaps a true damage and or defense boost here and there, and we'll be golden. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.